thank each and every one of you for being here tonight and giving such a strong Labor round of support, because we deserve it. And thank you so much. We do have to accept that after 16 years, Tasmanians today have voted for a change. And I have spoken to Will Hodgman. I have congratulated Will Hodgman on becoming the 45th Premier of Tasmania. I would say, though, on a personal note to Will, that having stood here and having had the support of my family and the pride of my parents in what I have achieved, my mother and father who are here tonight, I say to Will, I'm only sorry for you that your father Michael and your mother Marion cannot be here to see you become the 45th Premier of Tasmania. It is a great honour and a great privilege to lead this beautiful state of ours. And we will, as a Labor Party, ensure that we hold the Liberal Party account for the promises they have made Tasmanians, and account for what we know we need as a state to progress for the future. And we will be there, and we will stand loud, and we will stand proud to ensure that this privilege, this honour that the Liberal Party have, is treated with the esteem it should be, with the care it should be, and with the honour and respect that government should be held. Now, I stand here before you feeling a mixture of emotions. Perhaps one is of sadness for those of my colleagues, David O'Byrne, Brian Whiteman and Brenton Best, who at this moment are fighting for their seats, and my thoughts are very much with them. But I also stand here with a great sense of pride. I am proud of our party. I am proud of our candidates and their volunteers who have worked so hard through this campaign. I am proud of our campaign team, and most of all, I am proud of our 16 years in government in Tasmania. The transformation of our state began in 1998 with the election of Jim Bacon, and what a legacy he has left us. This is the man who turned us around from a cultural a place where in fact we lacked confidence into one that became so culturally aware, socially aware and confident economically, confident socially, confidently in all ways. He turned this place around. He began it with so many issues or ways that you can point to. His Tasmania Together that he began, that started a social change. The fact that he really drove big projects like Basslink and optic fibre. He invested into spirits. He launched 10 Days on the Island, Screen Tasmania. He built up the artistic and cultural aspects of our community. He drove economic change. He cleared our debts that Liberals had left us. And he ensured that we were able to progress economic reform like shop trading hours, the water plan, housing reform and many others, particularly the significant relationships legislation Judy Jackson drove at that time under his leadership. great friend and deputy, Paul Lennon, came into the role as Premier at a time of not of his choosing. But he took on the reins of Premier, and he too can be proud of his legacy that he played and the part he played in the last 16 years. He was the man who drove the water plan to begin to become the irrigation we know today. He was the man who took that optic fibre we invested in and trialled it with Tascolt to show what we could do with a fibre that became the NBN of this nation. He assisted us and supported us in reforming health, in housing, disability and child protection. He began Common Ground to look after homeless people, and he began the transformation of the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery. And then we had David Bartlett. He put some meaning around what irrigation and water meant with the concept of the food bowl. He had a passion for education and drove reform like our Launching into Learning that's benefiting our young people today. He began the child and family centres, and if you go into our communities where they need them the most, those centres are revolutionising the way we assist parents to raise their children and to give them the best start in life. He delivered the NBN rollout. He began the next step in our cultural evolution, supporting festivals and events like Mona Foma. And he brought Tasrail back into government hands. And we've not let that legacy of reform of Jim Bacon, Paul Lennon and David Bartlett end. In fact, this period of government is a period of government we can all stand high and proud about. Not only did we provide stability for 4 years, we not only provided that stability, but we reformed. We've reformed energy. We've driven electricity prices down in this state when other states are seeing their electricity go up. We've reformed forestry, the big issue. And I would say to Will Hodgman, do not tear up the Tasmanian Forest Agreement. We have participated in some of the biggest national reforms that could not happen without the states working side by side with our former federal Labor government. We've delivered on health reform, on Gonski reform, on NDIS reform, all of these reforms threatened now by Tony Abbott and his Liberal government nationally. And of course, we fought for the NBN, and that fight is not over. It will continue. We have also continued on with irrigation, and now we talk about our dairy industry doubling, our aquaculture industry doubling, our viticulture industry quadrupling. We have a new horizon with this Asian century of ours, markets for our exports, markets that create jobs here in Tasmania, jobs that we are seeing created right now as we speak. We know the importance of China, the importance of international students, the importance to tourism to be able to capture these markets, and we are seeing all of the benefits flowing right now. And we have steered this state through one of the worst global economic downturns that we have seen since the Great Depression of the 1930s. And just because we've come through it reasonably well, you should not underestimate what we have confronted, what we have dealt with, and how we, the Labor Party, have shown once again we are the best economic managers for this state of ours. Our economy is turning around. 1,900 new jobs over the last 4 months. Retail trade turning around. The building and construction industry, the housing industry turning around. Unemployment has fallen. That's what we want. We want Tasmanians to have the choice to work and to be able to gain that employment. And of course, socially too, we have continued to drive social reform. And while some of us are disappointed that we didn't see issues like same-sex marriage or indeed our voluntary assisted dying get up this time around, those issues of social conscience and how we treat people in this country will remain part of our legacy and our agenda going forward. Tasmania has come a long way under Jim, under Paul, under David Bartlett and under my government, and we will leave this office with this state in far better shape than when we inherited it in 1998. Is more inclusive, Tasmania is more progressive, more dynamic and more culturally confident than we were back in 1998, and we have a fantastic future. We can and we will be the most dynamic small economy in the world. We produce world-class products, we have the best experiences here, the most beautiful natural beauty of this place. We have great people and we live in the best place in the world, and we should be optimistic, we should be confident about our future and about who we are and who our state and where our state is going. Now, I'm proud to be a part of this Labor government and all that we've done. But I'm also very proud of the campaign we've run, and I want to thank everyone who's worked so hard to get Labor people elected across the state. In particular, a big thank you to all the candidates, those sitting members, those new candidates who were willing to come in during a tough period for Labor and put their hand up, go out there on the front line, knock on those doors, make those phone calls, letterbox all of those pamphlets and give it your best shot. Thank you so much. I want to thank also our State Secretary, John Dowling, and the campaign team. And of course our family and our friends and volunteers who supported us, but to very much a big thank you to those thousands of Tasmanians who have stuck by Labor, who have kept the faith. Thank you, and we look forward to representing you and being back at the next election to grow those numbers once again. Absolutely. I also want to take an opportunity to thank my family, my mother Lynn, my father Rick, my sister Sonia. Families do it hardest of all in any election campaign and, of course, during your time as Premier. And I thank them for being my backbone and for being there for me when I've needed you. And I know you're here tonight, and I just can't tell you how much I love you and thank you for everything. Colleagues, and may I firstly say such a big thank you to the Deputy Premier, Brian Green. Brian has been an outstanding deputy, a man who has been my rock during my time as Premier. And he is the man who's really carried so much of the load of this government with the big reforms in forestry and energy. And he's had to do that with the support of all of us. But it's a difficult job, and he's been absolutely tremendous, and I'm pleased to see him doing well in Braddon. He knows his electorate, he loves his electorate, and I'm pleased to see the people of Braddon supporting him tonight. To my other colleagues who have been elected, congratulations, looking forward to working with you again. And to those, as I mentioned earlier, David O'Byrne, Brian Whiteman and Brenton Best will be with you every single day as we go through a hair Clark count, and I'm not writing you off. Thank you also to Phil Reid, my Chief of Staff, for everything that you have done in supporting our team, our close team and the wider team of staff across all of the offices. You've been fantastic. To the team who's on the road with me, Michael, Deb and Paul, thank you. We love a certain song, Gnarls Barkley's Crazy. It got us through a few days, I can assure you. The teams of people in Hobart, in Launceston from my office, thank you so much for everything you've done. To the staff across all the offices for pulling together in the way you did. It's been a sensational campaign and we've all supported each other and delivered as we needed to. My own campaign team, it's tough when your candidate's out in Bass and Braddon and not in Franklin, but to Lorena, Carell, Ali, Bryce, Alison, Robert and the many, many more who are out there for me, thank you so much. To my friends, thank you as well for your support. Don't forget the hundreds of people who've been part of the staff that we've had over those 16 years. We've seen many good people come in and out of our offices, and thank you for your contribution too. Governing the state we love and call home is so much an honour and a privilege, but it also brings an enormous responsibility, one that we hand to the Liberal Party tonight. But Labor is the party of the people. We are the party that cares about those who are doing it tough in our community. We are the party that cares about workers. We are the party that cares about the elderly and the vulnerable. We are the party that cares about removing discrimination and supporting those people who need us most. We are the party about people, and we will be back. Thank you.
The concession speech of Lara Giddings at the Hobart Hockey Centre, a speech that acknowledged not only her own government's past, but those of the premiers before her in the 16 years of Labor in power in Tasmania.